In eastern Ohio, a small town is home to one of racing's strangest puzzles. It's not an oval, not a road course, certainly not a super speedway. Yet it's some of all three. Today, a group of racing's most talented drivers will try to figure out Ohio's Rubik's Cube. X marks the spot as we get set for Hooters Pro Cup Racing from Xenia. It's Hooters Pro Cup Series action, Northern Division style from Xenia, Ohio, Kil-Kare Speedway. Today it's the Naturally Fresh 250, presented by Longhorn. Hello everybody, I'm Gene Crane. Scott Sutherland is alongside, and down on pit road, Stephen Cox will be covering all the action on a very unique pit road here at Xenia.
Well, our Pepsi weather's been the big story. We had a rain delay last night. Here it is Saturday afternoon. We're trying to get this one in. It's cold and it's very humid because the rain is still in the air.
Field set by points. Advanced Auto Parts pole qualifying with scrub. A brief 1 hour practice, but earlier today, Stephen talked with the pole sitter, Benny Gordon.
With rain threatening and qualifications washed out, the Advanced Auto Parts pole award defaults to this guy, Benny Gordon, who was the winner at our last race. What does it take to repeat if the weather cooperates?
Well, we're just going to have to, we got a good starting position thanks to Mother Nature, but we're going to have to just stay up front because it's threatening to rain all day. It could rain this thing out. We're going to go as late as we can with our pit stop if we're in the lead and everything's going right. So just being up front and staying out of trouble and wait as long as we can for that pit stop.
How important is rhythm at this racetrack and being comfortable inside your car?
Well, rhythm's everything around here. If you try to horse the car too much, just get get loose or tight. So just basically one steady throttle the whole way around is about the best way to get around here. And a lot of fast cars here. A lot of guys get around good. So I think it's going to be one heck of a race.
Benny Gordon is your Advanced Auto Parts pole sitter by virtue of being the point leader. But Scott, it's been a long wait. Let's see if we can't get this race underway. Joe and Rita Shingledecker from Longhorn giving the command to fire up the engines here at Kil-Kare Speedway. This is a very unique racetrack, Scott. Pit road even more unique than anything we've seen on the tour.
What's unique about this racetrack, it's a circle inside a circle. They actually go inside on that X and make their pit stops in there. It doesn't have a lot of banking. This is really a circle that you have to drive as a circle. Very difficult racetrack to drive. One of the hardest on the northern circuit.
Throttle control, very important throughout the day.
Absolutely, and Benny Gordon hit on it. You can't be wide open. You can't be all the way out gas. You hold it in one spot. I know that sounds crazy. You get your car accelerated, you hold it at about 5/8 or 3/4 throttle, and you drive around this circle.
And really two wheel inputs for turn 1 and turn 4.
Well, it's just a constant, and rhythm is everything.
What's been an active pace, a very quick pace throughout the day, and let's take a look at our Naturally Fresh starting grid. Benny Gordon, by being the point leader, takes over the point to bring the field down to green. Jeff Agnew chasing him by 25 on the outside. Woody Howard, the 55, starts inside row 2, and Jack Bailey in the 93, new sponsorship on that car this weekend. Shelby Howard in the 20 car starts on the inside of that third row. He's joined by Lonnie Rush Jr. in that Ray Skillman auto car. Row 4, we'll see L.W. Miller in the Speedco Ford and Johnny Rumley in the Bob Huff Chevrolet. Fifth row, we'll see Eric Corbett, Larry's and Son sponsorship on the side of that race car, and A.J. Frank in the Lightning Fast 11 car joining him there. Eric Sarton, one of our rookies, will start the 5-hit machine. He's also joined by another rookie, Travis Miller in the RaceTalkLive.com machine. Sam Falone, Piro Vegetable, with sponsorship on the side of his 48, and the Jex.com 72 of Gary St. Amant make up row number 7. Rookie Derek Cale in the 22 starts inside row number 8 from that 15th starting position, and a backup car, the Aaron Green machine, second car, brought off the trailer for Ken Butler III. Joe Harrison Jr. back in action, and rookie Cameron Dotson joins him in row 9. Tim Bainey Jr. in the Greased Lightning number 15, and Mark Nesbitt, BCPS of North Carolina 88. Todd Peck, the Marino Welding 40 car, starts inside row 11, and rookie Dominic Casola in the Casola Farms entry. Jim Crabtree Jr. from Muncie, Indiana in car 63, and Jeremy Miller The 18M, the Seco Buildings machine. Gabby DiCarlo makes her first start of 2006 in the 83, and Roger Blackstock rejoins the tour. J.D. Leonard makes his first start in Pro Cup competition. He's in the 77, and Sean Sauer in the LiveWireDecals.com. He's a rookie this year.
Well, there's a lot of rookies in this field, but there's also a lot of work done this week because it was a short turnaround. Had to be here yesterday. Joe Harrison Jr. had a lot of work. How'd he get here, Stephen?
I wanted to know the same question I asked him last week after the accident at Shenandoah. I said, Joe Harrison Jr., is there any way possible you can put this thing back together? You've only got 1 week between races, not 2. And he said, no problem, we'll be back. So they replaced the bumper and the radiator and just a whole lot of metal up front toward the front end of the race car after that huge impact at Shenandoah Speedway. They're back here this week. Joe's in the car. He told me just minutes before they fired the engines, he said, man, I feel pretty good about today.
Well, that's great. And you like to see guys like Joe Harrison Jr. because, week in, week out, they're a constant racer.
Harrison, they did a lot of work. In fact, I stopped by and checked on the car as well. We're going to ride along with Shelby Howard this weekend. Shelby Howard has the Lucas Oil onboard camera on board that number 20. Tony Stewart's original barbecue sauce and salsa Pontiac. And the Jegs.com Chevy of Gary St. Amand will ride with the 72 car, naturally fresh onboard camera. Ride along from that outside row. This should be a challenge to get down to the inside. We're also going to ride along with Ken Butler III, a backup car for the Aaron's Dream Machine. They had a problem in that abbreviated practice session earlier today. Backed the car into the wall outside of turn 4. Pretty much destroyed that car. And Tim Beatty Jr. will carry our 4th in-car camera. We'll take a shot and look back at Tim Beatty Jr. again this week. So I'm really wrestling the wheel in that Grease Lightning Ford last weekend.
At this type of racetrack, you should see, he'll probably hold that in basically one position all the way around. It's a very strange racetrack to drive, but it's all about that rhythm. You don't need a lot of horsepower. Matter of fact, I think horsepower actually hurts you at a racetrack like this. You just got to be constant.
Showing the field, 1 to go. Signal our honorary starters, Rob and Jeff Sharp from Advanced Auto Parts. But Scott, this racetrack being so unique, how does that affect your strategy?
Aaron's race strategy looks something like this. We're going to either short pit or long pit, but Benny Gordon hit on it. I'm going to try to ride this horse as long as I can before I put my tires on. 2 or 4, I think I'm going to put 4 tires on. This is a circle. It's all about having side bite. You've got to keep the momentum of the race car going. But the last thing you want to do is keep an eye on the sky. And if you can find a radar unit somewhere close to you, because halfway they can call this race. If the second half gets rained out, whoever leading is that winner of that race.
Track crews have done a whale of a job to get this surface prepared for racing action and set for a green flag. Off the corner, Benny Gordon and Jeff Agnew bring the 28-car field to a roaring thunder to turn 1. Gordon with a quick jump, and the field trying to sort it out, get single file and drop to the inside. We talk about it all year long. We've been talking about track position. I hate to be redundant, but this is a racetrack that very much is dependent upon track position.
Well, it's only a single groove racetrack until the tires start getting wore out. Once they get wore out, the guy in front of you, he'll be slipping around, whether the nose will take up or maybe the back end of the car. But you're riding along, and here's what you see. The car's just one steady speed. Maybe get to the accelerator a little bit down that short front straightaway, but the rest of the way around, it's just a constant circle.
Looking over just to the far left-hand side of our screen here at our Lucas Oil onboard camera, that tack ranging just about 1,000 RPM difference.
Yeah, anywhere from 5,500 to 7,000, that's where you're going to be all day long. And you're just working the momentum of the race car through the corners. Second
place battle shaping up. Shelby Howard in the 20 car, really putting the pressure on the Dean Motorsports 55 of Woody Howard. Woody Howard, the defending race champion, won the first of his 3 races during 2005 right here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Running second right now to Benny Gordon, but Benny Gordon's trying to check out.
Well, Benny Gordon's going to get a good run. He needs to just be careful. Hey, there's no sense in getting a lot of laps or putting a lot of heat in those tires. Just relax. Got a good bit of space behind you. Have a good time with this thing.
It's like Jeff Agnew, the Team 7 Motorsports 73 car, putting the pressure on Shelby Howard now. Add to it Lonnie Rush Jr. and Jack Bailey. Jack Bailey again up front.
Jack Bailey's been pretty constant, if you want to say that, throughout this season. Been very consistent at every racetrack, and no surprise that he's up front here again today. But Woody Howard won this race last year by using a little bit of strategy. Looks like he's got a pretty good race car again today.
Go back on board with the 72 of Gary St. Amand, trying to work by the 75 car just to his right. That is the red 75 of Eric Corbett, the Larry's and Son machine. We switch back up front with Shelby Howard going to the outside. Outside groove seems to be coming in there, Scott.
Yeah, Woody Howard realized he was just a little bit quicker, said, Shelby, go ahead and go on by, and I'm telling you, he just checked out.
Looks like Jeff Agnew also going to step to the outside. Here comes Lonnie Rush Jr. 71 car was very quick during practice earlier today. In fact, Lonnie Rush Jr. is 1 for 2 here at Kil-Kare Speedway. It's been 21 years since he's competed at this racetrack, and the very first stock car race he ever drove was right here at Xenia, and he won it.
Well, the first time I ever won, if you win, that's a bad way to start because everything there is second best.
Exactly. A good look at the back straightaway here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Not much of a straightaway. It's more just an arch as they work through that area. But it sure makes it interesting getting into turn three. Turn three, kind of a loose radius, and it tightens up quite a bit to make that turn 4 and come down the front stretch.
These guys are trying to do it double file here, which makes it that much harder. They need to get single file. They need to get stretched out so they can get some good rhythm going because it won't be long. The leaders will be on top of them. But Gary St. Amant has his hands full trying to work through this traffic. He has a better race car, just can't get there.
Looking back at Tim Bainey Jr. from his Grease Lightning onboard camera. 1 week ago at Shenandoah, he was really wrestling that race car. Had a tire problem or some problem with the wheel or an alignment. But looks like things are pretty smooth right now tonight for the Grease Lightning car.
That's this type of racetrack. You hold the wheel in one spot and just go around it, ride along with Ken Butler in the Dream Machine, making his laps, learning this racetrack.
And he's learning this race car because this car came off the truck and got no laps on the racetrack. He backed the primary car into the wall out of turn 4 with only 6 laps, and they got no practice with the backup car. So they're really feeling that car out quite a bit right now to see where they stand. Looks like Jeff Agnew is, oh, we got trouble. The 77 cars around. J.D. Leonard, first-time starter out of Broadhead, Wisconsin in the Ethanol-sponsored machine. He goes for a spin, comes to rest at the apex of turn 3. So first caution of the afternoon here in the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by Longhorn. Hooters Pro Cup Series, 4th race of the 12-race regular series season. We're under caution. We'll leave you a look with the top 5.
The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series is brought to you by Hooters, the cure for the common restaurant. Naturally Fresh, add excitement with naturally fresh dressings, sauces, and dips. Miller Lite, the official beer of USAR. Miller Lite, good call. And by Lucas Oil, the worldwide leader in heavy-duty and high-performance lubricants.
Welcome back to the Naturally Fresh 250.
Well, on a day that I wouldn't have given you much chance of even getting a race underway, we are underway with the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by Longhorn. Hooters Pro Cup Series action under the first caution. Caution brought out early on, but we are ready to restart. Lap cars drop down to the inside. Joe Harrison is down there. Also, Gabby DiCarlo, her first start. Phoenix, Arizona driver, making her first start of 2006 in that Great Clips machine. Benny Gordon had opened up quite an advantage over Shelby Howard, but Howard started hunting him down just a little bit there before we went to caution. Now Howard restarts right on his rear bumper.
Jeff Agnew was feeling a lot of pressure from Lonnie Rush Jr. as well. So we're going to see these guys are really going to get after it on this restart.
Quick break on the restart. A.J. Frank also hunting his way up to the 7th position right now. Good look at that back straightaway. The cars come just right off that turn 2 apex and just sweep out wide. Really a point, if you really lean on somebody, create quite a problem down that back straightaway.
Well, the old adage is 8 tires hold better than 4, and you're going to see a lot of that as the race goes on. The car starts sliding around. The grip starts to leave the tires, and it's very difficult to maneuver a race car. But hey, you got to stay with it.
Field breaks away. Front runners right now, single file. Top 5 have gotten away from 3rd place as Roger Blackstock, the 1 car. He is 1 lap down in car number 1. Blackstock making his return to the Hooters Pro Cup Series. First time we've seen him this year in the Four Sons ATV Pontiac. Back on board with Gary St. Amant. Heavy traffic in front of St. Amant. Having to go to the outside of Joe Harrison Jr. And look at this traffic jam.
And Ken Butler just needs to be patient. You know, I want to just force my way up through here. I've got a good race car, but you can't. You've just got to be patient. Right along with Tim Bainey. Watch his hands and see if he just kind of holds it in one position. Really, a little bit loose there. You're just going to hold it. You're just going to hold it and try to just go around this racetrack. 1 circle. Oh, we got a spin.
Bainey in the spin cycle. Whoa, and a big crash as well. Oh, and the leader's involved. Benny Gordon goes around. Looks like he and Shelby Howard may have made contact. Looks like Agnew trying to snake his way through the mess. Agnew's going to take over the lead. Your leader, Benny Gordon, after the fact. It was the 15 going around. Tim Bainey Jr. also involved up on the high side. Jeremy Miller in the 18 car, and I believe that's Dominic Casola. Indeed it is. Casola showing some left front damage, and looks like the entire rear bumper cover of Tim Bainey Jr.'s car is left here on the front straightaway.
Well, we were riding along with Tim Bainey Jr. You saw that his wheel snapped to the right just a little bit, and he was trying to correct the race car, had a little bit, probably got hit by a little bit. Maybe we'll take another look at it and get an idea of what happened as they come up onto the front straightaway. Oh yeah, he got hit in the right rear corner, sending his car around, and the rest of these guys are going to end up in the wall. He comes up, oh!
Nowhere's for Jeremy Miller to go. He takes Dominic Casola into the outside wall with him.
And all the spotters trying to tell him, slow down, slow down. Oh no! Shelby Howard into the back of Benny Gordon. Jeff Agnew trying to pick his way. He's got to be careful not to run over the debris.
Here's another look from Tim Bainey's vantage point. Ooh.
Oh. That was a bad hit. You notice that he had got hit right off the corner, got him sideways. Everybody went. Benny Gordon's down on pit road.
Your race winner from Shenandoah will come down pit road for an unexpected pit stop. They are looking at the left rear of this race car, and you can see the damage on it. It looks like that BF Goodrich G-Force TA radial may have a little damage to it, and they are also looking at the left side of the sheet metal. Now, what they're really concerned about here, guys, is the geometry of the race car. They were prepared to make an adjustment, but they just wanted to eyeball it very quickly and get Benny Gordon right back out.
Scott, it looked like the 20 car of Shelby Howard was trying to make a dive to the inside of Gordon, and Gordon saw the blocked racetrack, and two just got together there.
I don't think that the spotter for the 20 car was right on top of it. Benny Gordon knew he needed to slow down. He could see in front of him. But what's really tough for Shelby Howard is he was looking at Benny Gordon. Couldn't see down the front straightaway just yet, even though the spotter might be telling him, you know what, these guys are still hauling the mail. And it's just very difficult to get them stopped.
Several cars involved, including Casola, Miller, Howard, and Gordon. I would think Shelby Howard concerned with his right front, but also sustaining the most damage was the 15 of Tim Bainey Jr. That Grease Lightning Ford was the car that spun originally, and everyone else swept into it.
Tim Bainey Jr. will be on pit road with bigger problems than what they anticipated. Now, they knew they had some sheet metal tore up at the rear of this race car. They didn't realize that the car was going to handle so poorly. They're going to go up on jack stands, get underneath this thing, and see if they can put the Grease Lightning car back out on the racetrack. Right now, though, it's a long, long, and tough day for Tim Bainey.
As well as a bunch of other competitors that are going to visit pit road, trying to make sure their car's ready to go when we go back green.
On to the second caution of the day here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Your top five, including Agnew, Rush, Howard, Bailey, and A.J. Frank. The action level has stepped up in a quick hurry here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Look at some of the action so far this afternoon. Spinning Tim Bainey Jr. trying to hang on and avoid traffic. We're coming right back to Kil-Kare Speedway with more. Setting up for a restart here at Kil-Kare Speedway, but while we were away, Benny Gordon came back to pit road for a tire change. Steven.
Well, it was critical that they changed that left rear BF Goodrich G-Force TA radial. It was just vital because you can see the damage to the wheel. The tire's fine. The tire will last all day. The wheel, however, was damaged, and you can't bust that seal between the lip of the wheel and the rubber from BF Goodrich. So that was the problem. That is what brought Benny Gordon in.
And what they're trying to do now is bend that lip back out so that thing won't leak air. If you have to put it back on the car, you have to have it so it'll hold air. And we're underway.
Roger Blackstock down on the inside. He is a lap car, and Jeff Agnew swings around wide. Lonnie Rush Jr., another good run for the 71 car here today. And Rush knows his way around this racetrack, but that was a long, long time ago. Here comes Woody Howard, the 55 car. He learned his way around this speedway 1 year ago and then went on for 2 more wins during his rookie year. And that was all en route to a Miller Lite Rookie of the Year title for 2005. Jeff Agnew, he's a former Miller Lite Rookie of the Year titleist as well as a series champion, and he has 2 trips to victory lane here at Kil-Kare Speedway. So a lot of talent and a lot of experience up front here in the early going.
Jeff Agnew had the fastest race car here last year. I remember it late in the race. He had a great race car, but broke the sway bar arm. Really took him out of contention to win the race. Got a good race car here today.
Back on board, the Lucas Oil camera watching as we move alongside the 8 car, the Black's Tire Service. Number 8 with Johnny Rumley on board. Rumley trying to stay to the outside. They've got Jeremy Miller directly ahead and Shelby Howard. We'll look at the right front of Howard's 20 machine, the Tony Stewart entry. Showing right front damage, but it isn't in a spot that it's going to hurt the tire.
Well, he got into Benny Gordon just a little bit. That's what caused Benny to go around. You really got to wonder how bad. You saw Benny Gordon's left rear wheel. You got to wonder how bad is his right front tire. Maybe have a cut in it. Boy, I'll tell you, it's a dangerous situation because you're on the right front all the way around this racetrack.
Just saw Eric Sarton in the 5 car, the rookie, go to the inside. He'll take over 7th from Johnny Rumley. He's on a charge right now, trying to rebound. Had a great run at the season opener at South Boston, finished 5th there, but they've struggled since, trying to rebound and get himself further up in the point standings here in that 5 car. Like Jeremy Miller, pretty tough right there on the inside.
A tough racetrack, and you really need to have that bottom groove to maintain that speed. You roll to the outside of a guy, and it takes about a half second away. Very difficult to pass the top of this racetrack.
Watching Eric Sarton, he'll move to the inside of Roger Blackstock in the 1 car. Jeremy Miller still on the bottom side of the racetrack. Rumley is forced to go up to the high side. Behind them, L.W. Miller, Speedco Truck Lube's 46 machine from Darren Odell's Motorsport Camp. And there's another team that knows their way to victory lane here at Kil-Kare as well. Brian Ross on board the 46, won the very first Pro Cup Series race here back in 2002. Eric Corbett trying to get a few directions there out of turn 4.
Well, they're letting the lap cars know, say, look, you got to back off just a little bit. Give us an opportunity to race. We're riding along with Gary St. Amand, the Jake's car, and he's trying to take that lane as well, trying to use that outside, go around this lap traffic. It is tough out there. Right
behind Gary St. Amand, we see Derek Cale and that Heritage. Whoa. Jeremy Miller right in front of some traffic, spins, comes to rest in turn 2. 3rd caution of the night being brought out. So used to racing at night, odd to be racing in the afternoon, Scott.
And he was just turning down, trying to get that good run off that back, what we call straightaway, and the car just got a little bit loose. You can go around in a hurry here. You're not wide open throttle, but you're 3/4 throttle.
The wheel and open and close indicator at the inside of turn 1 here this afternoon, letting the field know that the pits are not open for pit stops as of yet. There's another look at, looks like Jeremy Miller, the car just breaks loose right in the middle of 1.
Yeah, he was trying to pull the car down, try to stay off of Eric Corbett on the outside, give him that room, and his car the back end just came around. It's really tough because when you come down the front straightaway, drop down into turn 1, it's an elevation change, very difficult.
Here's your iCard, top 10, Agnew, Rush, Howard, Bailey, and Frank continue as your top 5. Behind them, Shelby Howard, Eric Sarton, Johnny Rumley, L.W. Miller, and Travis Miller. Rookies starting to show well here today. Hooters Pro Cup action, the Naturally Fresh 250 at Kil-Kare Speedway in Xenia, Ohio. 3rd caution of the day has been brought out by a spin by Jeremy Miller over in turn 2. Single car incident, nobody involved, but let's take a look at what has happened so far. Getting set for a restart here on lap 48. 1 lead change among 2 drivers, and we are coming off of our 3rd caution of the afternoon. It is Jeff Agnew up front, ready for the restart. He jumps the button and brings him back to green.
Hey, you got to be impressed with Lonnie Rush Jr. He's got a pretty good hot rod here today. He's staying right up there in the front. Going to run down Jeff Agnew, I'll bet you. Woody Howard with a pretty good race car. Go back to that 1 lead change. Benny Gordon doesn't like it. You might think that he got passed. Hey, he got turned around. We went to caution. He's going to show you later on, I'll bet.
Well, Gordon trying to recover a change of tires on the left sides early on. A look at your BF Goodrich full field rundown after 50 laps. Jack Bailey back in the top 5. AJ Frank showing strong. Shelby Howard has recovered. Got to wonder if there's some damage to the right front. Maybe knock the toe out on that car.
He's got to be careful with it. And you're exactly right. You can bend the toe or change the toe just by barely bumping it, and that's going to be tough.
Good run for Sam Falone. He's showing just outside the top 10. Derek Cale, Martin Nesbitt, and several others. Take a look at where your favorite driver is running right now. Lonnie Rush Jr. has brought the race to Jeff Agnew, continues to run most of the time without a car length of the rear bumper of the 73 car, but Lonnie Rush can't get too complacent. He's got to be concerned with that 55 and not leave a hole open.
I don't think he's concerned about the 55 car right now. I think he's trying to find a place that he can pass Jeff Agnew. He's got a good race car. He closed the gap up. Now he's backed up just a little bit. He's gonna make a play at Jeff Agnew.
Look as Johnny Rumley gets by Joe Harrison Jr. Now L.W. Miller will do likewise in the 46 car. Pretty good pack of cars right behind them. Jeremy Miller goes to the outside. Travis Miller in that white number 76. That is the racetalklive.com machine for the rookie. Also trying to work by.
That's Travis Miller still on the lead lap. Jeremy Miller's not on the lead lap, is he?
No, he's not.
So he's got to get away. He's got to get down to the bottom. Lap cars have to go to the bottom here, which is really tough because that is the desirable groove.
5th, 6th, and 7th all together. A.J. Frank in the 11 car. Good run for the Bullet Motorsports entry. And Shelby Howard putting the pressure on. And behind Howard has been that charging Eric Sarton in the 5 car.
I like the way Shelby Howard, you watch that car where it just turned and went to the bottom. A little bit of move on A.J. Frank there, a little bump. Yeah, that's Trayton Payton. Let's go.
Moved A.J. Frank up the racetrack, took the spot. Here comes Sarton. Sarton's going to have to lay a fender on the side of the 11 car. A.J. Frank slides up the racetrack. Sarton side by side, but Frank tough on the outside.
Well, we're only 57 laps into this race. Let's not get too carried away.
Oh, we got trouble. First right away, Woody Howard in trouble. Woody Howard in that 3rd spot loops it out of 4, and nobody got into it.
Whew.
A lucky Woody Howard pulls away. He was running 3rd. Able to spin on the front straightaway without getting collected by anyone. Caution coming out on lap 58. Last year's Miller Lite Rookie of the Year collected nearly $60,000 in that Miller Lite Rookie of the Year program. Woody Howard brings out the caution. Here's another look at it up off of turn 4.
And that was Woody Howard up on the top trying to hold off Jack Bailey. A battle for 3rd. Car gets a little bit loose, and it went around in a hurry.
Yeah, that 5th, 6th, and 7th place battle with Shelby Howard. Howard's got to feel like he's got a target on the front of that race car.
Well, you just drive through the smoke. That's how they do it in the movies. That's how you do it here at the racetrack, too.
Well, it's starting to turn into a horror show for Lonnie Rush Jr. His car is slowing over here in turn 1. He was 2nd place, and the car, it doesn't look like the motor's running.
You've got to be kidding me.
The Devers Truck Body 71 machine. Help from Ray Skillman Auto of Lonnie Rush in trouble here on the front straightaway. Let's take a look where our rookies are running here in the Miller Lite Rundown. Eric Sarton is in 6th. Travis Miller is 9th. So a pair of rookies in the top 10. And Crabtree, Dodson, and Kale all battling for position back there in 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Well, Jack Bailey's had a heck of a year up to this point, and we got an opportunity to talk to him. Hey, Jack Bailey, this is Scott Sutherland up here in the tower. Have you got a minute to talk to me?
Sure.
The racetrack looks like it's changing just a little bit. I know we had a lot of moisture yesterday. Does it look like it's going to come to you?
The track seems to be staying consistent from practice. I mean, you know, there was a little bit of moisture out when we were running, but, you know, this is the first time I've ever seen this track before. I'm just kind of trying to adjust. Now I'm back behind Jeff Agnew here. Maybe he can take me to school and teach me something. It's definitely a driver's track. Definitely not a track that you can sleep on. It's a lot of fun, but it's tight racing.
There's a lot of guys thinking about coming to pit road, Jack. Are you guys thinking about hitting it early or hitting it late?
Yeah, we've got a pit strategy. We're actually discussing that right before you broke in, and we'll see what happens. You know, if someone decides to pit before we think we should, we're probably going to come in anyway, just take on the fresh tires.
Scott, you notice the blue ribbon on the antenna there at the top of Jack Bailey's car? That is in dedication to Vicky Armel, a Fairfax County police officer that was killed in duty, in the line of duty here just recently over the last week. And Jack Bailey dedicating this race to Vicky.
That's an awesome, awesome thing to do as a race car driver.
Jack Bailey, not a rookie, but a newcomer to the Pro Cup Series, showing strong this year.
You're watching Hooters Pro Cup Racing. Don't go away.
We're back at Kil-Kare Speedway. Jeff Agnew up front in today's Naturally Fresh 250 presented by Longhorn, set for a restart with Jack Bailey lining up 2nd, Shelby Howard 3rd. Lap cars down to the inside, off the corner. And Jeff Agnew once again up through the gearbox, and he gets a whale of a start.
There was not even a challenge on that one. What about Jack Bailey? Can he stay with Jeff Agnew to go to school and learn how Jeff Agnew drives this racetrack? Boy, oh boy, you got a work cut out for him already.
You know, Shelby Howard suffered any damage in that 2nd caution of the day on that right front when he and Benny Gordon got together. It's not apparent right now, Scott.
No, his car works very well. It looks like the longer they go, his car gets better and better. And I'm wondering if we get like a 30, 40 lap run, we might see him work his way up to Jeff Agnew.
Shelby Howard showing very strong right now. A.J. Frank has made his way to 4th in the 11 car. So my online racing buddy doing pretty good.
I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy who needs a good race. A.J. Frank, you go, boy. He needs a good race here.
They've had some mechanical problems over the last several races. And in fact, earlier today when I came by during practice, they were inside the cockpit. The shifter had come loose in the 11 car.
Well, that's just one after another. You got to stay on it. You're riding along with Shelby Howard, trying to make his way into contention.
Jack Bailey looks in the rearview mirror. Knows that he's got to keep the hole covered from the challenge of Shelby Howard, but Jeff Agnew still starting to run off and hide a little bit, putting a little distance between himself and Jack Bailey here after 68 circuits.
Shelby Howard's right front corner looked like it hit a can opener and pulled that thing back. But you know what? You said earlier, it's not rubbing on the tires, so that's a good sign. We haven't seen a hint of smoke yet.
Could be a curb feeler, right?
Well, at this
now
place,
we're showing our age.
Yeah, at this place, you never know. You know, you run it, you have to run right up against the wall, come down the front straightaway. But you got to be so careful when you go into turn 1 because there's definitely an elevation change.
You know, one of the other things they need to be careful of, you see it right here, you see the flat in turn 1, but over here in 2, and also in turn 3, they've got some of the rumple strips there, so you could very easily drop the left sides down and really upset the race car.
Oh, it comes right out from underneath you. Benny Gordon trying to work his way up through. Johnny Rumbling, man, they're having really a lot of trouble with Roger Blackstock.
Roger Blackstock right in the middle of all that mess. We've got Travis Miller there. Down on the inside, there is the 55 of Woody Howard trying to find some racing room. He's going to be passed by Travis Miller.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, look out.
Oh.
Man, Travis Miller went to the outside. Woody Howard slid up the racetrack. Eric Corbett and Gary St. Amant involved trying to avoid. No place to go out of 4.
Well, Woody Howard got into the back of the 76 car. 76, just a bump, turns him sideways, and that started a whole chain reaction. Everybody on the brakes, and there's a lot of guys with damage that really weren't involved in the initial contact.
Travis Miller, the rookie out of Virginia, was showing in the top 10, running 9th at the time of this incident. A lot of damage to the front, particularly the left front of that race car.
A little bitty racetrack sure can cause a lot of damage.
And the exit of that corner just funnels you into that straightaway. Let's take another look at it as they run off into the corner.
Woody Howard just a little bit of a tap to the 76 car, and then behind him, St. Amant. The 75, what's L.W. Miller up at the top? He makes contact with the wall. These guys are coming in. Really can't get slowed down. Oh, and more contact at the bottom.
Actually, I think that was Sam Falone, the 48. St. Amant's viewpoint. Absolutely nowhere for Gary St. Amant to go. Wrestled his way through it, but several cars coming to pit road, including Travis Miller.
Travis Miller had just a tremendous amount of confidence coming into this race. He's had some good results so far this year, and now look at the mess they have on the front end of that race car. It is a very small track. I mean, Kil-Kare is a great speedway, but there's not a lot of room, and there's no room for impatience. Eric Corbett just got off pit row, and Travis Miller is not a happy camper.
There's a lot of unhappy campers here today with a lot of tore up sheet metal. You got to figure out, are you going to make your pit stops now? You're watching the weather. I know there's a lot of rain in the area. Stephen, nobody's been hitting pit road.
Yes, pit road is pretty much empty right now. A few cars coming in, but basically we felt a few raindrops just moments ago. So if anybody can avoid coming in right now, that's what they want to do, because 125 laps constitutes an official race. You don't want to give up that track position unless you have to. So pit road's empty.
In fact, the only people coming to pit road was Eric Corbett. That's going to hurt. He was tied with Johnny Rumbling for 10 points and also on pit road, and involved Travis Miller, tied for 11th, and that rookie point battle. On board with Shelby Howard, you can see some of the raindrops starting to hit his windshield as we try to work towards at least a halfway here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Well, hit the fridge, grab some chips, and come on back. We'll be back after this. Back at Kil-Kare Speedway, look at our top 5, including rookie Eric Sarton. Now showing in 5th as we inch our way towards a restart here on this fast rule 3/8 mile. Unique racetrack here in Xenia, Ohio. Leader is Jeff Agnew. He's been on the point after taking the lead during a caution situation, or a situation that brought out a caution, and Benny Gordon lost the lead. Agnew brings them back to turn 1. Pretty good battle starting to develop for second. Bailey has got a charge from the inside from Shelby Howard. Lap car Blackstock is there.
And I think Roger Blackstock may be fast enough to just go ahead and drive away. Jack Bailey needs to get to the outside and hold it down so he can make that room around him. Or he does, that way he doesn't open the door.
TGI Friday signing on board with the 93 of Jack Bailey. He's giving them a good run here this afternoon. Tony Stewart's original barbecue sauce and salsa 20 machine of Shelby Howard. He's been stout all day long, hunting for that second spot, trying the outside line, this time heading back to turn 4. A little deeper in the field, Benny Gordon, who started from the Advanced Auto Parts pole. He's eligible for the Longhorn win from the pole award. If you remember, he won it last week at Shenandoah. He's trying to charge his way back to the front in the Predator Performance Ford. He's working the outside of the Black's Tire 8 machine of Johnny Rumley. And here comes Woody Howard, that Dean Motorsports entry.
That was a strong move. Whether Johnny Rumley gave him just a little bit where he could make that move or not, I don't know. But Benny Gordon showed a lot of finesse on the outside of the racetrack.
Well, trying to finesse his way to the inside is Shelby Howard. Gets a run on the 93 of Bailey, but not quite enough. Or is it?
Oh, all you got to do is just get your nose under him and just wiggle him a little bit. And that door opens and you're on your way, and Shelby Howard is into second place.
Howard has raced here at Kil-Kare Speedway in open wheel modifieds, kind of an E-mod type of class they have here, kind of like your IMCA type modifieds from around the country.
Well, the thing is, though, the more laps you can have at this racetrack has got to be a huge benefit. And I think for Shelby Howard, that's got to be helping him here today.
It's like Jack Bailey settling in right now. He's got Shelby Howard by him, and Howard trying to reel in Jeff Agnew. A little bit of separation and a good opportunity to sit back, turn some laps, and get a little closer to the halfway point.
And you're just making laps, trying to figure out when you're going to make your pit strategy, and watch the rain clouds.
Couple of rookies side by side. We've got Sarton and Kale, the 5-car and the 22 machine, and Johnny Rumley and Woody Howard. They haven't settled that battle yet.
Woody Howard using that bottom group. We saw what happened to him earlier when he was in the top group. Car got real loose, spun around, and he makes a move by Johnny Rumley.
So Woody Howard picks up a spot. Johnny Rumley in the Bob Huff Chevrolet Pontiac. Sliding backwards just a little bit, and Shelby Howard has run down your leader, Jeff Agnew. Agnew, is he slowing down, or is Howard that strong right now?
Well, I was watching this car earlier, and I think Shelby Howard, it looked like after 20 laps of green flag racing, his car got really good, and he's making Jeff Agnew pay the price right now.
Agnew in the Mark IV Honda Team 7 Motorsports entry drops back to second. New leader on lap number 90. Shelby Howard goes to the front. Shelby Howard has never won a Pro Cup Series race. Could be an opportunity here in his, nearby his home state from over in Indiana.
Well, I'm going to tell you something else. This lap traffic, there's a lot of mirrors going on. There's a lot of spotters yelling. Shelby Howard has a very good race car. He's closing in on some good race cars to put him a lap down.
Dominic Casola, the driver out of Holmdel, New Jersey, the A. Casola Farms 02 machine. He'll drop down to the inside, gives those leaders plenty of room. Gary Saina Mott about to go a lap down, and the Aaron's Dream Machine with Ken Butler III. We'll see the leader try to work to the outside. Joe Harrison Jr. and Jeremy Miller lead this pack of cars as they work off of turn 4.
Gary St. Amont's got to be careful with that quarter panel hooks. It can rip that quarter panel off. That's not the problem. And the problem is the fuel inlet is hooked to that quarter panel. It tears that off. Then you got huge problems.
Would make a pit stop very lengthy, and not to say that it wouldn't be a little bit of a disaster for some of the guys behind him as well.
He had a little bit of contact. It's knocked it down. Oh,
Shelby Howard shutting down at turn 2.
No way.
Leader in trouble. A lot of smoke. Or was that dust? Oh, that's smoke.
Looks like the engine has just gone away in Shelby Howard's race car.
Well, Smoke's car has gone up in smoke with Shelby Howard at the keyboard. Howard dropping down to the inside, headed to pit road. What disappointment. This young man has got to feel like he is just absolutely jinxed. He gets a good run going and something happens.
The Tony Stewart's barbecue sauce car was probably the best race car on the racetrack at the time. And they say they always run the best just before they blow up.
Well, he was 5th in points coming into this race. Looks like he's going to take quite a tumble in the point standings here this afternoon. Stephen Cox is hustling his way over to Shelby Howard's pit.
Shelby Howard had an excellent car in practice. They've got the new Gertie engines in this chassis right now. They have been extremely happy with their performance, and what a huge disappointment. The team does not know what the problem is yet. All they know is that they completely lost power, and boy, they were fighting tooth and nail with the 73 car of Jeff Agnew for the lead of this race. So this is a huge disappointment for a young man who has not had the season that he wanted. I was going to talk with Eddie Kelly just a few moments ago, and all of a sudden he he kind of waved me away, and there's a big puff of smoke coming out from this race car, and the team just put their heads in their hands, and this is the disappointment that awaits race car drivers when an engine goes pop at the wrong time or a rear end or anything. So just a huge disappointment for Shelby Howard, who had the car to beat today.
I'll tell you, Gene, if this young man can get that first win under his belt, you're going to see a lot more to follow.
Well, concerns are building, and so are the clouds off in the distance. We'll keep an eye on it. Your top 5 here at the Naturally Fresh 250 here at Kil-Kare Speedway. Agnew, Bailey, Gordon, Crabtree, and Woody Howard. Just before 100 laps, Shelby Howard takes the lead, only to have the motor expire. Shelby Howard on pit road. Steven is with him.
Shelby, it looked like you had a fantastic run going, and this is the one that you've honestly deserved all year. What happened? What took it away?
Yeah, you know, we probably should have won this race last year and went a lap down to the pits and had a quick car, and it's looking good for us again this year. I got into Benny earlier when that crash happened coming off of 4 there. I just didn't see it. Didn't see it happening, and but anyway, I don't know, something in the motor broke there. It's bad. All the guys worked really hard this week. We put a new front clip on this car from the last race, and this shame.
2 big disappointments, one in Shenandoah and another today for Shelby Howard.
One thing they can feel good about, they just put a new clip in that car. That car's fast.
It's very fast. You know, the honesty of Shelby Howard. He said he just plain didn't see Benny Gordon there.
That's just racing. Jeff Agnew with another great restart.
Quite the jackrabbit on the restarts. Jack Bailey in that second position, being pressured by Benny Gordon. And Gordon, he's been on the charge since he came to pit road to put those 2 left side tires on.
That car works very good as well. He came back through the field. I thought he could do that pretty quickly, get back to about 7th or 8th, and then his progression would slow down. He hasn't slowed down one bit. He's working Jack Bailey over hard right now. His car turns at the bottom. Boom, he's gone.
And recovering from the spin is Woody Howard. Woody Howard stepping up. He's 4th. A.J. Frank is 5th. So the top 5 starting to shuffle just a little bit. Woody Howard now trying to battle for 3rd with Jack Bailey in turn 4.
Jack Bailey said earlier when we talked to him on the radio, he said, I'm going to follow Jeff Agnew and go to school. Right now he's going to school, but it's not by Jeff Agnew.
And just outside your top 5 is Johnny Rumley. Rumley in that 6th position following this battle. And the 55 of Woody Howard still unable to get by Jack Bailey. Bailey's pretty tough on the outside groove.
He's making that outside groove work to his advantage, trying to keep the momentum up. You got to turn the guy on the inside, got to turn him down so you can have that advantage off the corner. He's doing a very good job of just closing that corner down.
This time looks like Woody Howard with a nose up in front as they went off into turn 1, but the exit of turn 2 and the sweep around this back straightaway all the way through 3 and into 4 is where Jack Bailey seems to be strong.
Jack Bailey with a real good race car. How about this? Benny Gordon has caught Jeff Agnew.
Benny Gordon kind of, well, he didn't quite make contact, but looked like he was going to try to go to the outside on Agnew. Swings Agnew up to the high side, and Gordon back up front. So Benny Gordon, winner 1 week ago at Shenandoah and defending champion of the Pro Cup Series, putting himself back in winning ways after a struggling start here in 2006. So Gordon shows the way. Agnew running in 2nd. Woody Howard able to wrestle away that 3rd position from Jack Bailey. And actually looking off into the distance, clouds building even greater. Stephen Cox is on pit road with Jack Bailey's crew chief. Stephen?
Robert Huffman, if Jack Bailey's going to do it, you better do it now. I suppose you can see the same clouds that I'm looking at.
Oh yeah, you know, that's the reason we're holding out here on pit. It's a little bit different racetrack, but Jack's doing a great job. You know, it's great to have TGI Fridays on the car for up here, and you know, hopefully come out with a good finish.
Well, can he put the thing in front? I mean, if it rains, you need to get up there, and you need to get up there now. Can he do it? Does he have the car?
Well, I don't think we do right now. You know, we're just trying to sit here, see what this weather does, and make a decision on our tires.
Well, that's why the crew chiefs make the big money, because you got to make the call. You got one eye in the sky and one on the tires and try to help your driver, but at the same time, don't take yourself out of contention to win this race.
14 laps away from the halfway point, and at the point that the leader completes lap 126, this race can become official. So the decisions on pit road, very, very important. L.W. Miller and Eric Corbett right now in chase. They are behind Johnny Rumley. Rumley's got Derek Cale and Eric Sarton directly ahead. This is your 6th, 7th, and 8th, including 9th and 10th position, all doing battle right now.
Great run by Derek Cale. A really good, solid performance.
Leader has caught traffic. Gary St. Amant in the 72 car. Now having to deal with the new leader, Benny Gordon. Johnny Rumley right in the middle of this mix right now, currently 8th. But the leaders now in heavy traffic, halfway money on the line, and possibly the race win on the line, Scott.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake here. You're closing in on halfway, which means a couple things. A Lucas halfway challenge, but it also means this race could be over if the rains were to come. There's battles all the way around this racetrack. I don't know which one to watch.
Everybody jockeying for positions. And, you know, we talked about points. Agnew trying to look to the inside in heavy traffic. And he is trying to make the pass. One car up to the high side.
That's Jim Crabtree Jr. up on the top. He's still on the lead lap, so he's trying to hold his position. Jeff Agnew with a great run underneath. He's the leader.
Crabtree made a pit stop, lost a top 5 position, and now losing a lap to the leader, Jeff Agnew. And it is Gordon also going to try to get by Gary St. Amant and the 15 of Bailey, still side by side directly ahead of those leaders.
We knew traffic was going to come into play, but you got to choose the right line. I got to figure out where I'm going to be. Jeff Agnew chose. He's with Gary St. Amant. He is the new leader. I don't know. Can he hold off Benny Gordon in the clear traffic?
I don't know. When they clear this traffic and get clean racetrack, Benny Gordon's got a strong race car. They've still got a lot of traffic and closing in on that halfway money. And the point that this race could become official should...
Whoa.
Gary St. Amant got moved up the racetrack by Jeff Agnew. Agnew knew he had to go.
I think Gary St. Amant was just trying to get to the bottom group to let Jeff Agnew have the top and go ahead and go on around. Jeff Agnew already committed, and then there was a contact.
Next car they'll encounter is the 14 car of Cameron Dotson, the Elite Auto Collision Chevrolet of Dotson. Dotson stays down to the bottom side. Sprint car champion 1 year ago. He's got a lot of Rookie of the Year titles, but this is his first full year in a full fendered race car. He's done pretty well right now, looking for a little more out of that race car, but nonetheless, nothing to be upset about and disappointed about here in 2006.
You got to get your feet wet. You got to get out here with these guys and race one. He's learning very well. Jeff Agnew, only a couple more laps. He can hold on for that Lucas Oil Challenge.
And that traffic allowed Woody Howard to close in the distance to the top 2 as well. 3-car breakaway now as they clear lap traffic. 2 laps away from the halfway point. Agnew's on his horse, but so is the 66 of Benny Gordon.
Man, I love the way Gordon's car goes into the corner, turns, and comes off the bottom. His car is really fast through what we would call the apex, the fastest part of the corner. He has a lot of roll speed, and his car accelerates so well up off the corner.
And it looks like Benny Gordon able to run about a half a...
Whoa.
Gordon in the back of Agnew coming to the line for halfway. Gordon's going to lead at halfway. Benny Gordon put the bumper to Jeff Agnew, took the lead at the completion of 125. He's going to pick up the $1,000 Lucas Oil halfway bonus. And Agnew back to second and about to lose that to Woody Howard. But it's Benny Gordon with a last turn bump there to the halfway point. He'll pick up that halfway leader award. Gordon back up front here. 126 complete. Now if weather were to set in, this is an official race.
This could be the race. That could have been the race-winning move. But wow, what a race going on.
Back on board with the Tim Bainey Grease Lightning Ford after a long stay on pit road. We'll get your top 5 here, the naturally fresh 250 at Kil-Kare Speedway. Just past the halfway point here at Kil-Kare Speedway. 133 circuits are complete, and Jeff Agnew chasing. Benny Gordon, 2-time champion of this Northern Division and defending champion of the Hooters Pro Cup Series. L.W. Miller and Eric Certain. Pretty good battle right there with Jack Bailey up ahead and Johnny Rumley right behind them. Heavy traffic. Add A.J. Frank and several others to the mix. Cameron Dotson, Certain, almost into the side of Miller, that time out of 4.
I think L.W. Miller actually turned down just a little bit, trying to hold Certain down there to get that good run off the corner. Man, you guys, don't step up too high. Get up in that rubber marble, so you're going to go into the fence.
Those marbles actually are chunks of rubber that have filed off these BF Goodrich Tires G-Force radials used by the Pro Cup Series, introduced 3 seasons ago, and these tires have really stepped up the competition as well.
And L.W. Miller, he's running right on the edge, what you would call the fringe or the berm. They're right up on the, he's pushing that, he just keeps pushing the rubber up higher and higher. He needs more racetrack.
He's going to find it as well. Darren Odell, that team has been to victory lane here at Kil-Kare Speedway with Brian Ross at the keyboard, trying to, big trouble here. Turn 2. See the 18 of Miller, and Woody Howard's involved. Late arrival to the situation up the high side, had Martin Nesbitt down to his inside. I think it pretty much guided Howard directly into Sam Fallone's Puro Vegetable Chevrolet. Jeremy Miller's car used up heavily now on the left-hand side. He had right-hand side damage with the Baney crash back on the second caution, but involved our Miller, Falone, Woody Howard, and Martin Nesbitt. Martin Nesbitt, second week in a row, swept up into something.
And this thing all happened right in front of the leaders, and we'll have to get a replay in order to really put this thing in perspective of how it happened.
Well, Sam Falone climbs from the 48 machine. He'll take a look at the front of the race car. Scott, let's take another look at it and see just exactly what happened here.
Well, there was a little bit of contact between Martin Nesbitt and probably Jeremy Miller, and the 48 of Sam Falone gets into the outside wall right in front of the leaders. Okay, Benny Gordon goes through. Then we see Jeff Agnew, but here comes Woody Howard trying to get through, but Martin Nesbitt had come up the racetrack, and in the smoke, bang, nowhere to go. Bad deal for Woody Howard.
Woody Howard trying to repeat and head to victory lane for the second year in a row here at Kil-Kare Speedway. His opportunities obviously are going to be quite a bit diminished here. Now pit stops. Benny Gordon is going to pull down and come to pit road. A.J. Frank, several others coming in. Steven?
If you're going to win the race, you've got to win it now. Benny Gordon only needs 2 tires. The left side BF Goodrich tires are in good shape. They top off the fuel tank, and he is going to go ahead and elect to change the left rear as well. So that's what's happening here. The 73 of Team 7 Motorsports Jeff Agnew may come in right behind him, but the race could be decided right in front of us. Benny Gordon gets out with a reasonably well-timed stop, but the clouds are still threatening, and Jeff Agnew has yet to pit.
Well, Jack Bailey also came to pit road, Scott. There's a bigger issue. Pit road was not open.
Yeah, the pit road sign was, the sign was closed. Those guys committed to come to pit road, didn't realize it till it was too late. They're already on. The other thing I noticed is they put a used left side tire on the left rear of the 66. That was the original left front that came off, so they have good rubber on the left rear, but you know what? They're still going to end up in a penalty. Those guys will have to go to the rear of the longest line.
Tail end of the longest line, tough place to restart. Agnew has dropped down along with Johnny Rumley and several others getting ready to come to pit road for pit stops. So crew chiefs apparently thinking we're going to go a lot longer here today.
Well, I think weather was a factor, but at some point in time you got to say, look, we need tires on this race car because it's going to go all the way. We're back to pit road.
It's the pit stop that they did not want to make. The 73 car of Jeff Agnew went to the drop-down line to come down onto pit row. As he did so, the raindrops began to fall. They decided to stay out, but by that time it was too late. You can see the crew slipping and sliding on the wet asphalt as they changed these tires. If Jeff had stayed out, he might have won this race. This could be a huge, huge error. Not a human error, but simply a failure to be able to predict Mother Nature. Jeff Agnew heads back out.
Kind of hard to tell what's going to happen looking off into the distance. Looks like we have a little bit of a break, but Scott, as you said, you've got to have good rubber on the car for a run. Otherwise, you may wind up about to be lapped.
Well, you see all these cars with damage, okay? Why put yourself in that position? Get some tires on the car so the driver can drive it and take that part of it out. If it rains, it's already a gamble. What the heck? Let it rain.
Well, several cautions ago, your leaders came to pit road, L.W. Miller and Derek Kale. They advanced to the front of the field. Steven?
Mike, Derek has really deserved this. I mean, you already got a pole under your belt, and this could be a fantastic finish. Are you hoping for rain or not?
Well, really, it don't matter. We got a good car. Obviously, we would like to have a little bit of rain, and opted to pit, short pit. Got a good car. BFG's got a good tire, so all the guys, crew, done a good job. So we'll just have to play it out and see what happens. But we got a good car. Derek's doing a hell of a job.
Have you second-guessed yourself on your pit strategy, or is it perfect so far?
No, so far it's going our way, so we'll just see how it goes from here.
Well, quite a pitulation has developed. Premature pit stops for A.J. Frank, Benny Gordon, Martin Nesbitt, and Jack Bailey. So they're going to start at the tail end of the longest line, and this could really be tough, particularly with this being such a track position racetrack.
Benny Gordon went to the rear already one time here today, okay? Can he come all the way back through the field again without tearing that race car up? I think he's got a great race car, but it's avoiding all those other problems.
Aaron's lucky dog will be Jim Crabtree Jr. He was at the tail end of the lead lap, and he's coming around to the longest line for the restart, but he's happy about it.
You're watching Hooters Pro Cup Racing from the Buckeye State.
Kil-Kare Speedway, and now the red is being displayed not only to clean up the mess over in turn 2, but a slight drizzle starting to come down. Steven is with Sam Falone.
Boy, this thing's a mess out here. And we had a lot of yellows today. Talk about how bad traffic was and tell me about your incident.
Well, the lap cars are just really in the way out there. We were trying to run hard. We made a pit stop. We're trying to run hard to stay on the lead lap, and the 88 just kind of got impatient with the lap car, and I think he just got down in there a little too hot, and I don't know, they got together. I had nowhere to go. I tried to go to the outside, and I just got stuffed right in the wall. But looks like our day's done, and this car's got to go on jigs, so it's not too good of a day for us today.
Well, in the background, the jet dryer helping to dry the Kil-Kare Speedway. Leaders L.W. Miller due to an early pit stop in track position. He finds himself up front with Derek Kale second under this red flag. Steven is with L.W.
L.W., is there anything else you could have done but schedule the rain? I mean,
yeah, I'll tell you what, it worked out great for the Speedco Odo Motorsports race car. We had a decent race car. We ran in the top 10 the first part of the race, and it was a gamble. You either stay out and pit at the end of the race, or you pit real early and hope it didn't rain out too soon. And it worked out perfect for us. We pitted, just kind of eased our way back up through. I think we were back up to 5th or 6th there before the caution, and it started raining, and everybody already committed to come in the pits. So I just have to keep my fingers crossed and hopes it turns back into yesterday. And I haven't been too happy about this rain all weekend, but right now it makes me real happy. But if not, the Speedco U.S. Insurance Odo Motorsports car, it's been running great all day. I'm sure that we can hang up here, and I don't know that we can win it, but I believe we can hang up here in the top 5 finish.
Well, the next race date for this northern division of the Pro Cup Series, Jennerstown Speedway, Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, Saturday night, May 27th at 7 p.m. You'll see it right here on many of these same stations. Your Sunoco Next TV date, Jennerstown Speedway, Wednesday, May 31st at 5 p.m.
We're always talking about safety features inside these race cars, the head restraints, the window nets, the seat belts. One of the most overlooked is roll bar padding. This is the economy, this is the good stuff. A company called BSCI. It's a great product, high impact. If your helmet hits it, it will help keep from a head injury. It has an adhesive backing, so all you have to do is pull the tape and put it where you need it. And not only that, the BSCI product is self-extinguishing and will not drip. You're going to find this product in most of your USAR Hooters Pro Cup cars. And probably the biggest reason you don't want to use the economy.
Very good example of safety here in the Pro Cup Series by Scott Sutherland. Field has refired and now circulating behind the Fathead Sunglasses pace car. Getting set for a restart in a few laps. We're coming back with more right here at Kil-Kare. The red flag has been withdrawn. Field is now set and ready to resume racing with L.W. Miller on the point for the first time here this afternoon. Kil-Kare Speedway, 3/8 mile oval near Xenia, Ohio, the site of this 4th round of 12 for the regular season for the Hooters Pro Cup Series Northern Tour. As you saw, we'll go to Jennerstown Speedway in 2 weeks, but right now, L.W. Miller, he's got some business to take care of up front. He gets the jump on Derek Kale. The 22 machine rides in second as they work by the lap car of Gary St. Amant.
L.W. Miller with a good start. You got to get that jump. Get those lap cars out of the way so you can go racing. How about Derek Kale?
Derek Kale, very, very stout. He's a rookie here in 2006, trying to challenge for a win. He's got an Advanced Auto Parts Pole Award. Now would like to put a W in the win column. Right behind him, a young man that did exactly that in his rookie year. Woody Howard, winner here at Xenia. Just 1 year ago, he is running 3rd. Behind him, several cars that have been to pit road. Pit stops really shuffling the field here today. And a miscue on pit road really shuffling the field as well. Saw some of our early leaders, including Benny Gordon, tailing along this line for this restart. They've got a long way to work their way up front, and it's a 3-car breakaway with L.W. Miller showing the way.
Yeah, there's a lot of good hot rods jammed in the back here, trying to work their way through traffic. You see Jeff Agnew working his way. Johnny Rummler right behind him. And Eric Corbett, he is on the lead lap, and they're putting up a heck of a fight, but they're just trying to get themselves in a position The end is coming soon.
Eric Corbett has had some difficulties throughout the first part of 2006. Not of his own making. They've had strong race cars, but little skirmishes here and there have kind of denied his chance to run up front and get back in action. In trouble there on the front straightaway. Gabby DiCarlo has spun to the inside. Jack Bailey in the 93 car. So the 83 and the 93 bring out this caution. Gabby DiCarlo, first Hooters Pro Cup start this year for the Phoenix, Arizona driver. Let's take another look at it out of turn 4. And it looks like Bailey tried to get to the inside of the 83. Both touched and went for a spin.
And I think maybe a little bit of a mistake on Jack Bailey's effort. He should have rolled to the outside. DiCarlo doing the right thing, staying at the bottom. That's where lap cars are supposed to be, trying to go to the outside. But you know what? Just gotta be patient.
Gene Crane, Scott Sutherland, and Stephen Cox bringing the action of the Northern Division of the Hooters Pro Cup Series, set for a restart back on the Speedway, the 71 of Lonnie Rush Jr.
Well, the Ray Skillman Auto Special had a little bit of an electrical problem when he was running so good. Maybe he can get a lap back, one of several that he's down.
Car shut down while he was running second. He is some 30-plus laps down to the leader, L.W. Miller. But strong run for Lonnie Rush, trying to get a lap back, but he's going to have his work cut out to get all 30 back.
Woo.
L.W. Miller again on the start. Derek Cale in that second position, the rookie. About a car length and a half, make it 2 car lengths separation between 1 and 2. Then Woody Howard, and Howard being pressured by Jeff Agnew. Agnew has been to pit road, fresh rubber on that race car. They've got to deal with Lonnie Rush Jr. Agnew's going to peek to the inside this time. Rush's car slides up to the high side. Woody Howard nowheres to go, and here comes Agnew.
Agnew diving to the bottom, making a move on Woody Howard, following the 71 car. He's pretty quick. The 71 Lonnie Rush Jr. is pretty quick. Maybe he can stay. How about Johnny Rumley also making that move?
That Black's Tire Service, Bob Huff Chevrolet, number 8 of Johnny Rumley, really coming on strong now. We saw earlier on that the car seemed to fade just a little bit. Rumley dropped back to about 10th position. Now he's on his way back to the front. Good run today for Johnny Rumley. That's another team looking for a good run. They've had some bad misfortune throughout the first part of this year, looking to turn things around here today.
Eric Corbett trying to make his way up through there. Eric Sarton along with the 66 car. Oh, what do you think?
Tell you what I think, that 63 Jim Crabtree Jr., late model pilot, had a limited season in 2005, committed for the full 2006 Northern Division schedule. They have not had the runs they wanted to have. Crabtree, a very talented pilot out of Muncie, Indiana, but right now they've got a strong race car. They're back in the lead lap and showing very well.
Got a solid run. Johnny Rumley to the outside of the 55 car of Woody Howard. Woody Howard's very fast, but what's Johnny Rumley doing on the outside trying to make this pass?
Rumley hangs tough. Further back, here is Rush and the leader, L.W. Miller, and Miller's put quite a separation between himself and now second place, Jeff Agnew.
Jeff Agnew getting around the 22 car, trying to forge his way to that top spot.
Just a case of fresher tires on the Agnew machine. It was the 22 of Derek Cale and the 46 of L.W. Miller. They short pitted, tried to get the advantage of track position, and it almost paid off.
Well, we had a long rainstorm, and they did get it dried back out, but oh, man, if this thing would have rained out, we wouldn't even be talking about it. It'd already be over. What a strategy move, though.
Still a battle right here. Woody Howard trying to hold off Rumley. Rumley has found some place to race right up there. He's got a strong groove right there in the 8 car.
But while they're trading paint and running side by side, that 66 car, the Predator car of Benny Gordon, is making the charge on the outside again.
Oh, looked like the 55 of Woody Howard may have clipped the inside rail. Actually right down to the bottom side and got it loose. That let Gordon dispatch him very quickly, and now Gordon trying to shake up the 8 car of Johnny Rumley.
I don't know what they've got. That car rolls through that center and turns on the apex. And there's several different places on the racetrack where the car has to turn. That car does. And look at the go to the outside. A lot of confidence in that race car.
Well, looks like Benny Gordon taking a chapter from what Johnny Rumley wrote just a few moments ago. And you can see some damage to the right front headlight door on the 8 car. Rumley has not been without his share of challenges throughout the afternoon.
I think everybody's traded paint here at one point in time or another, just trying to get through traffic. Like this situation, L.W. Miller leading the race, Jeff Agnew all over his rear bumper.
Agnew has run down the leader. They work around the Harrison Automotive 57 of Joe Harrison Jr. Battle for the lead, though, with L.W. Miller and Jeff Agnew. Agnew trying to repeat and go to victory lane here at Kil-Kare for 3 trophies to his credit. Agnew gets the inside line, Miller to the outside. They've got lap traffic directly ahead. That's the 77 of J.D. Leonard. the Ethanol Chevrolet out of Broadhead, Wisconsin. His first start here in the Pro Cup Series.
Jeff Agnew made it happen. He made that slide move. Let his car slide up in front of L.W. Miller. L.W. Miller, I'll tell you, Lonnie Rush's car is awesome.
Rush with a strong race car, but Agnew, your new leader. Miller back to second. Third is Kale. Derek Kale in that 22 machine. The double deuce trying to get it done, but it is Agnew just slicing his way through traffic. He's run down the 14 of Cameron Dodson, and we go back on board. This is the 00 of Ken Butler the third, riding behind Dominic Casola. Casola in the 02 machine. These two cars right now running 15th and 16th. And we'll switch back and look at the 11 car of A.J. Frank. Frank trying to take position away from Derek Kale in the 22. The 11 of the 22, and Frank, a little side slapper off the corner. Has the nose out in front. Can he make it work? He does, and leaves the door open for Jim Crabtree.
I'm afraid that the Derek Kale machine, the tires have started to give up. It was a huge gamble to come in early. You love the track position. You were hoping for the rain, but you know what? You got to have tires at the end of the race. This is a circle. You got to have side bike.
Watching Jim Crabtree Jr. Jim has done a great job here today. This is a race he missed last year. In qualifying, post-qualifying tech, the car failed, and he did not get to start. His qualifying times were disallowed. He missed this race completely. Not necessarily fond of this racetrack. He's got to be liking it right now.
He's got a great run going right now, that's for sure.
Leave you with a look at that 15th and 16th place battle and your top five from here at Kil-Kare. Kil-Kare Speedway, the naturally fresh 250. Northern division of the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series, right along with Tim Beatty Jr., the Grease Lightning Ford. They've had a struggle throughout today, involved in an early caution and a long repair job on pit road, but back in action, completing laps. 200 are complete, 50 laps to go in a race that, quite frankly, I didn't think we'd get 50 laps in.
Well, we're real lucky with the weather all around us, and we have already had one rain delay. We're fighting the elements, and I'll tell you, these guys are fighting on the racetrack. This is shaped up to be one heck of a race. It's going to be one heck of a finish.
Here is L.W. Miller, gives up a spot to Benny Gordon, the 66 car. Very, very stout here this weekend, but a miscue coming to pit road when the pits were closed just prior to the red flag put him deep in the field for the restart. He's been able to battle his way back to the front.
L.W. Miller falling back to fourth. Those tires are starting to give up just a little bit, Gene. He wanted to pit early as well, get that track position.
AJ
paying the price.
AJ Frank's not too far behind. He's in that fifth spot. He's hungry for a top five finish. He's got a top five right now with 50 laps to go, but he's trying to get a little bit more. Eric Corbett, 75 car, has gone down a lap. He'll stay to the high side, give those lead lap cars plenty of room. Showing respect, the Clear Spring Maryland driver. He's been to victory lane just one time in his Pro Cup career. He's trying to make it number 2. It's not going to happen this afternoon. You Jim Crabtree currently just outside your top 5. A breath of new life after that Aaron's lucky dog put him at the tail end of the longest line on the lead lap. Looking very strong right now. Eric Sarden. He was 5th at South Boston and led the rookie standings. He came in tied in the 11th position in points and for the rookie title. And we're just very early, but people ask about points and why we're interested in it. Saw it earlier today in the lineup. Where you're in added points makes a difference is where you start when we have a situation with Advanced Auto Parts pole qualifying rained out. Here's Derek Kale. He started 15th. He's currently running in the 9th position. Another one of the young rookies that has been very strong here in 2006. A lot of competition throughout this rookie crop here in the Northern Division, and put it with that Southern group, it's going to be one whale of a championship series.
I'll go along with that. But what about Eric Corbett? All right, he started 9th, running 10th. Pretty solid race car. Well, just one lap down. Just went one lap down, but he's got a tore-up race car. Hey, go home and fix it, come back. He's still got a good car.
So inside the top 10, and with the damage to that right front, you have to think the kind of impact he had with the right front, trying to avoid that incident out of turn 4, that he would have knocked the front end out of alignment and at least knocked the toe out. All right, Jeff Agnew, and how quickly things change. Agnew to the outside of Derek Kale. Derek Kale's car really starting to give up here in this late juncture. 211 are complete. They're going to go around the outside of Cameron Dodson in the Elite Chevrolet. 14 car stays down to the bottom side, but Derek Kale very loose off the corner.
Well, that's a fact. Jeff Agnew's got a great race car right now, and he's putting some pretty solid race cars down one lap. but there's a couple of cars that are really coming.
Namely, Benny Gordon in the 66 car. Gordon on the charge. He's had to battle back from adversity, and Stephen Cox is with his brother Todd.
Todd, for a race in which so much has gone wrong, you can't be that unhappy.
No, actually, we're very happy. We just got a great race car right now, and Ben's being patient and working his way up through, and I'm real proud of what's going on right now. All the mistakes we had, we certainly don't deserve to be there, but he's hustling the wheel and getting us there.
Well, I know you were concerned about the geometry of the car on both ends. How is it?
Must have helped it, I guess.
I love that analogy. Sometimes when you smack the wall, it gets better. But what about Johnny Rumley's car? He must have hit the wall twice, because that's one of them cars that I was talking about. He just come from nowhere. His cars are rocking.
Johnny Rumley backslid through the field in the early portion of this race. Now he's moving up and about to challenge Jeff Agnew. They're in heavy traffic. Agnew about to get by the 55 of Woody Howard, another car that was up front, but now struggling late in this naturally fresh 250.
Pontiac's running first and second. We haven't said that in a while, and both powered by Kowalski engines. They are making this thing look too easy.
Traffic is very heavy. They go to the inside of Woody Howard. Roger Blackstock directly ahead. Looks like Rumley, a little bumper tag as they went off into the corner. Agnew again trying to peek to the inside. Rumley's going to think about the outside. Agnew covers. Battle for the lead in heavy traffic. They don't have a lot of time to waste. Rumley dives to the inside. Johnny Rumley puts a nose out front in turn one. Can he complete the pass? He's got lap traffic directly ahead.
Oh, Jeff Agnew's got to be one of the most frustrated drivers there is. He's trying to find a hole. No, let him move.
Johnny Rumley finds a hole at the bottom of the racetrack and moves the 8 car below the 1 of Roger Blackstock, puts 2 lap cars between himself and now second place Jeff Agnew. What a move. 30 laps to go and Johnny Rumley trying to run away and high.
There's no way. I don't know what they did. I don't know what crew chief made the decision, but that car's a rocket.
Action here at Kil-Kare. Come on back.
Welcome back. You're watching Hooters Pro Cup Racing.
Let's take a look at your Lucas Oil race recap. Field set by points. Benny Gordon leads them down to a green flag to start this naturally fresh 250. Gordon jumps out to an early lead. Then on lap 26, trying to avoid a previous spin. Here is the Baney car going for a slide. And then behind him, in comes the leader, Benny Gordon, and Shelby Howard gets collected as well. Lap 45, action down into turn 1, and Jeremy Miller goes for a slide and a stop in turn 2. Then we move to lap 58. More action and more excitement. Shelby Howard dives and avoids a spinning Woody Howard in the 55 car. Defending race winner. Back underway. Lap 90. Shelby Howard reels in race leader Jeff Agnew. Dives low in turn 1. Completes the pass as they work around through the backstretch. New leader Shelby Howard. Then 5 laps later, the power plant expires on the 20 car. Shelby Howard with disappointment once again here in the Northern Division competition. Lap 106. Benny Gordon moves his way to the inside. He's going to bypass the 73 of Jeff Agnew to reassume the lead. Then on 117, Agnew uses lap traffic, dives low, and gets back around Benny Gordon. Then to the halfway point, lap 125, off of turn 4. Gordon into the back of Agnew. Agnew up the racetrack, and Benny Gordon will lead at the halfway point and pick up the $1,000 bonus from Lucas Oil. On the restart, it is L.W. Miller coming back off the red flag. He did not have to go to pit road due to an earlier pit stop. He and the 22 of Kale showed the way. Then here came Johnny Rumley using lap traffic, diving to the inside, getting by Jeff Agnew, and Johnny Rumley is your leader as we close in on a finish.
Travis, what happened to the car?
Well, we got wrecked early on. I'm not sure what happened. 55 got into us. We were running about 6 or 7, just riding, trying to bide our time. But I guess did something to the radiator and it overheated. Came down and changed the radiator, and I can't pick up any more positions right now because that's how many laps we were down or whatever, so we just parked it before we crashed it up even more.
veteran decision for one of our Miller Lite Rookie of the Year candidates, one of the leading candidates here in this Northern Division, came into this race tied for 11th in points. Johnny Rumley trying to put some distance between himself and the rest of the field. Rumley has not won in over 2 years. His only win in the Pro Cup Series came at Jennerstown Speedway, where the series competes in just 2 weeks. Rumley on the outside now, going around Joe Harrison Jr. and trying to put more traffic behind him. Jim Crabtree Jr. still trying to find his way into the top 5. Outstanding run for Crabtree here this weekend. Crabtree tries to get by Nesbitt. Takes that McCreary County Funeral Homes Chevrolet by Nesbitt. Continuing to march his way to the front. But Crabtree had problems earlier today in practice.
You need to have a tight race car, that's for sure. I mean, we went out there and we was loose and backed it in the wall, and I think a couple other cars that happened too. So you want your car a little bit on the tight side here, especially with this rain, you know. So, and it needs to be comfortable, you know. If you're loose, you're in trouble.
I think comfortable is the whole key to it. I think all these guys out here, if you're not in a comfort zone where you can keep turning the steering wheel, you are in huge trouble.
And with the G-forces, you're slung to the outside of that car all race long. No opportunity to rest here at Kil-Kare Speedway.
Rest? Are you kidding me? You've got to have that thing. If those headrests don't hold your head up, it's going to be out the right side window. That's the kind of G-force you're pulling around this place.
Johnny Rumley showing the way, trying to hold off a charge from deep in the field. He's got a pretty good advantage over Jeff Agnew. We're coming back for more from Kil-Kare Speedway. Back at Kil-Kare Speedway, the naturally fresh 250 closing in on conclusion. Jack Bailey, the 93 car. A little bit of fresh life breathed into that Ford as Bailey gets by Derek Cale. The 00 of Ken Butler III trying to get by the double deuce, rather, of Derek Cale. And the 00 off into the grass. A little agricultural racing here today.
These guys are really getting out of control. Tires are starting to get wore down. These drivers mentally are starting to get wore down. You're trying to do the same thing lap after lap, and it's really, the fatigue is starting to show. And you can see these cars are a handful to drive in the late stages of the race.
Couple of the rookies, Casola and Cale. Ken Butler III, second year on the Pro Cup Tour for Butler, and behind them, boy, it's so strange to see Gary St. Amant continue to be lapped. They're struggling big time with that car, and they've just been in the wrong place at the wrong time.
The guy that's not struggling is that 8 car. I have no idea what they did on their pit stop, but whatever it was the right answer. Wow, what a race car.
On board with Ken Butler III as he rides behind Dominic Casola, gives the cars behind them the signal to go ahead and pass him on the outside. That would be Jeff Agnew. Agnew closing in, trying to run down. No, that's Johnny Rumley, but Agnew is closing in on Rumley. This battle for the lead is about to redevelop if Agnew can't clear that traffic in a hurry.
Johnny Rumley, I think, was
caution.
Caution's
We've got
out.
caution. One car around down to the inside. That is the 83 of Gabby DiCarlo. She was putting together a pretty good run, running in 16th position when she went around in the Great Clips Ford. So DiCarlo back underway, not before losing some positions and a lap to the leaders. This is going to erase the lead that Johnny Rumley was able to build over Agnew.
But as good as this car is looking right now, I don't think that's a problem for Johnny Rumley. The question would be, does Benny Gordon have enough to run with those top 2 guys?
Well, I had L.W. Miller, Benny Gordon, the 11 car of A.J. Frank is going to tighten up those lead lap cars, and we don't have that many laps to go here in this naturally fresh 250.
I think the thing is, the key is they've got to get around the lap down cars to really be able to race.
Our top 5 are Johnny Rumley, Jeff Agnew, L.W. Miller, Benny Gordon, and A.J. Frank, and a little more threat of rain here at Kil-Kare Speedway. So under caution behind the Fatheads Sunglasses pace car, even the umbrellas brought out on this chilly day here in Xenia, Ohio. Very uncharacteristic during the month of May, but nonetheless, field under caution behind the pace car. Rather innocent spin by the 83 of Gabby DiCarlo brought us to caution. But some of the precipitation that we saw throughout the day yesterday seems to have returned to the area, and just a handful of laps remaining. This may have been the reason DiCarlo went around.
Well, I don't think so. I think it was just a matter of, racing, good hard racing. That's what we've seen all the way around the racetrack. These are big raindrops, and it's going to cover the racetrack. But if they can keep going around it, they won't lose the track. Keep the heat in it and get that exhaust on it. They can keep this racetrack dry, but only to a certain point.
We'll keep up with the Hooters Pro Cup Series, both divisions, on USARProCup.com. Log on and check it out. Looks like Rusty Cruz has got his radar up and running. Whenever he takes his hat off, he's checking things out. That's what that is. Rusty Cruz, flagman for the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series and school bus figure 8 driver extraordinaire. Under caution, and this is going to give the crowd an opportunity to head back to the souvenir trailer, pick up their favorite merchandise from their favorite race driver here at the Hooters Pro Cup Series, whether it's Northern Division or Southern Division, or also perhaps the series souvenirs as well. Under caution and a threat of rain, we're coming back for a finish here at Kil-Kare.
We are set for a whale of a shootout down here. Up front is Johnny Rumley. He has stayed on the same left side tires all race long. They've only taken on right side tires. Jeff Agnew in second place has 4 fairly fresh BF Goodrich TA radials on that car. And in third place, L.W. Miller made his stop way back at the very beginning of this race. He is on old rubber as well. So cross your fingers. We have a dry track once again. Let's see whose BF Goodrich tires hang on the best at the end.
Well, sneaking into the pits behind Stephen Cox was the 66 of Benny Gordon. He was 4th when we went to caution. He's going to lose 1 spot, only 5 cars on the lead lap. He's going to come back on the racetrack and be behind A.J. Frank. This is a calculated move by that Predator Performance team.
Yeah, he didn't like the handling of the race car. There's no way that he can win the race the way it is. Let's do something. Throw a couple tires on it, even though they're used. Maybe this car will drive better. Look at Johnny Rumley's car. Let's make a change. Maybe I can get a chance. He's all about winning, Benny Gordon.
Benny Gordon, 5th position. He'll hold on to the point lead no matter where he finishes as long as he stays here on the lead lap. He's starting behind A.J. Frank, who's had the best race of 2006, as is Johnny Rumley, your leader. Brings the field off of turn 4, 5 to go, and Rumley hustles the field back to turn 1, trying to put some separation, but here comes the 66 of Benny Gordon. He's already by A.J. Frank and challenging L.W. Miller.
Well, I'll tell you what, he wasn't asleep at the wheel. Benny Gordon driving the heck out of that race car, trying to make something happen.
Up to third, he's got a dispatch with Jeff Agnew. Agnew 2 car lengths back from Johnny Rumley. Rumley driving that car for all it's worth right now. Wax tire on the quarter panels of this race car for this race. Here is Gordon diving to the inside and off onto the apron in turn 1. Can he make it stick?
He made it stick, but he was sliding. Both cars, 4-wheel sliding. Johnny Rumley's got to love it. Benny Gordon makes the move.
Battle for second, settled out of turn 4. Leaders across the line, 2 laps remaining. Johnny Rumley trying to hold off a charging Benny Gordon. Here comes Gordon, chewing up the distance as they dive off into turn 4. Gordon is there.
Remember the bump and move just before halfway? Well, there's 1 lap left to go.
Final lap down the back straightaway. Rumley's got the advantage. Here comes Gordon. Wide move. Exits turn 4. Gordon makes a bid. It's not going to be enough. Johnny Rumley wins it. Gordon in a wild slide. What a finish. Gordon spinning over in turn 2. Wild finish, but Johnny Rumley, your winner of the Naturally Fresh 250 presented by Longhorn, and a car into the water barrel. That looks to be
a 14 car.
Cameron Dodson in trouble. Hard crash down here into the water barrel at the finish. Let's see if we've got a replay on it. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, what a hit.
That is
Cameron
not a way
Dodson.
to end the day.
And here's the second place. Benny Gordon got the car loose, trying to get down to the inside of Rumley, chased it all the way through turn 1, and finally went around at turn 2. Great sign, Dodson out of the race car.
And Benny Gordon tried for everything it's worth to get it. But hey, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Ask Johnny Rumley.
Well, this is no new trick. Rumley's been to victory lane, and it's great to see some of these veteran drivers. We talk about so much about the rookies, but it's the veterans that get it done here today. Johnny Rumley headed to victory lane, your winner of the Naturally Fresh 250. Wild slide to finish the event for Cameron Dodson. But it's Johnny Rumley with the big paycheck. We're coming back with Victory Lane in just a moment.
The USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series has been brought to you by Hooters, the cure for the common restaurant. Jackaroo sauces, served in some of the world's finest backyards. Miller Lite, the official beer of USAR. Miller Lite, good call. And BF Goodrich tires. BF Goodrich Motorsports technology builds the world's hottest street tires.
On a track that would not rank near the top of Johnny Rumley's list prior to today, Johnny Rumley goes to victory lane, able to snatch victory away from a charging Benny Gordon. Rumley, who faded in the early part of the race, saved the equipment and made it count when it really pays off. Johnny Rumley in victory lane with Stephen Cox.
Well, the team says it was Jennerstown in 2004 when Johnny Rumley and the Black's Tire crew had their last win. So you have got to be absolutely delighted. But first of all, I want you to talk about the pass, not the one that Benny almost made on you, but the one you made on Jeff in traffic.
Yeah, well, you know, Jeff seemed to be slipping there a little bit off 4, and that seemed to be our best place to get a run on him. And I believe it was the one car. I noticed he was in lap traffic, and one car had been pushing up off a corner down there, and I'd passed him underneath before, and I kind of figured that's the way that was going to work. So Jeff just got hemmed in there and couldn't do much about it. And evidently we had a good enough car to beat him because he couldn't run with us after we got around him. So that felt really good. You know, anytime you beat Jeff and Benny and all the rest of these cats, that's a tremendous thing. And I'd like to thank Mark Huff, Mary Huff, Black's Tire, all these people who help us that don't get a lot of credit. All these guys on this car, it's a volunteer deal, and man, this feels good.
Johnny, talk about the 66. You had to see that backwards in your rearview mirror about this big.
Yeah, I seen, and then I seen him spin. I don't know what happened. I ain't talked to them yet. I was trying to figure out where I need to go. It's been so long since I won, didn't know where to go, what to do. So, you know, we couldn't even afford to do a burnout, so we had to take it easy on the engine. We got to run it next time.
Well, he's got a few dollars extra to spare this time, guys.
Johnny Rumley in victory lane. Behind him, Benny Gordon, Jeff Agnew. Great run for L.W. Miller and A.J. Frank. And how about Jim Crabtree Jr.?
And Eric Sarton come along with good. Weddy Howard not as good as last year, but still a great run. Jack Bailey falling back to 12.
How about Cameron Dodson in the water barrels, but still garners an 11th place finish. Blackstock 19th, coming back racing after shoulder surgery. Further down in the field, Shelby Howard blew an engine while leading just prior to lap 100. Todd Peck out early, still struggling with that 40 car.
You got to think Shelby Howard's going to get hit pretty hard in the points, even though he had a great race car today.
Well, the Grease Lightning super strength performer was Jeff Agnew. He led 123 times, and there were 10 lead changes in this race this afternoon. Rookie of the race, Jim Crabtree Jr., a $1,000 bonus to the driver of the 63, and he was on a roll as he also picks up the Aaron's Hard Charger Award from his 23rd starting position to finish 6th here this afternoon. Benny Gordon gave it all he had to try to pick up his second win in a row. It was a wild finish. I'd love to know what he was thinking.
I want to know what happened on that last lap, too. But first of all you needed, what did you need, 252 laps, 53? How many would it take?
That's all we needed. We had our car, this Performance Ford was absolutely incredible today, and guys worked real hard to stay in the race. I mean, we took off at the beginning of the race and got turned around in the wreck and drove our way back to the front and led halfway and come back in, pitted when we shouldn't have pitted, so I'm going to fire if anybody needs a good spotter. There might be one available, but no, he does a great job. Billy Farley does a great job for me. He just made a mistake. We come in, had to start the tail end the longest line, and drove our way back to the front and got our left front flat and the way up, and was just kind of had to slow her down and was running fourth. And when the rain came, we decided to take 2 old tires from the first half, and that lit it back up.
And the spin at the end?
I was just getting after it. I said I probably could have won the race the same way I led halfway, but you know, I rooted Jeff Fair a little bit. I'm sure he'll pay me back sometime, and but we race hard together like that. Johnny and them, I know how hard they've worked the last couple years, and I didn't want to win a race that way.
Well, look at the point standings. Gordon stays on top. Some shuffling down below. Johnny Rumley steps up. L.W. Miller. Shelby Howard tumbles just a little bit. Big shakeup. First rookie right now, Eric Sarton. He holds down 10th.
A great run by Eric Sarton, but also another great run by Jeff Agnew, and Stephen Cox has caught up with him.
When you have a bad day at the racetrack with a bad car and you still go away with a top 3 finish, it can't be really that bad a day. I mean, and that's pretty much what happened to you guys.
Yeah, you know, we were a little bit off. Been a little bit off the last couple of races, but, you know, you're just trying things to get a little better because the series is getting better, competition's getting better, and, you know, it's a shame here because usually we're pretty good here. But, you know, 3rd place isn't bad. If we can keep finishing the top 3 or 4, do this all year, we'll be happy.
Jeff, you lost the lead in traffic. Was traffic a problem or was it just circumstantial?
No, traffic wasn't a problem. If we could have, you know, if we would have been able to turn and hook up a little bit, we'd have drove by them. You know, but you have to wait and try to pick out spots when you're behind traffic. And, you're not working as well as we was today. So you got to wait, and that gave Johnny and Benny and everybody that passed us out here today the opportunity to just drive right by us. So Benny gave us a nice little chunk over here for the halfway money, but you know, that's the way it goes. That's racing. I'm sure it'll be turned around sometime down the road.
Your next race for the Hooters Pro Cup Series, the Northern Division action at Kil-Kare Speedway, Saturday night, May 27th at 7 p.m. If you can't be there, or you want to see it again, Sunoco next TV date, Kil-Kare Speedway, Wednesday, May 31st at 5 p.m.
I think Jeff Agnew hit the nail on the head. He said this series is getting more competitive, and it shows in every race. Either the North or the Southern Division, we're showing better and better competition.
4 races into the Northern Division and no repeat winners. For everything racing, log on to speedtv.com. And for all your information on the USAR Hooters Pro Cup Series, log on to usarprocup.com. Our thanks to Onboard Images for our in-car and camera coverage throughout the day, and to Club Car providing our at-track transportation. Many thanks to Racing Electronics providing the at-track communications here for this Hooters Pro Cup